the European Union Parliament has put pen to paper asking the Ugandan government to act. In a communication sent out on the 13th of September, the European Union Parliament expresses its concerns about the trend of political events in the country. While highlighting a number of issues they want addressed, the EU Parliament wants the Ugandan government to launch an effective, impartial and independent investigations into the Arua fracas in which Bobi Wine's driver Yasin Kauma was shot and killed as he sat inside the car of his boss. Other issues the EU legislators want addressed include the communique expresses concerns about the arrest of opposition parliamentarians in Arua, calls on the president and government to respect the independence of parliament and allow MPs to freely execute their mandates, urges the state to drop trumped-up charges against Bobi Wine and stop a clampdown on the opposition, a need to safeguard freedom of expression including political rights, freedom of speech and assembly. The letter also issues a call to the Ugandan security forces to exercise restraint when policing protests, desist from using live bullets, act lawfully and with full respect for human rights, and to allow journalists to freely do their work. Some of the Ugandan legislators we asked to comment on the EU legislators' report had this to say.
Our army went beyond, even if we are to look at it that way, that the presidential convoy was stoned. I think there was uncalled for or excess intervention on that matter because the president had left, he was safe, but them coming back and hurting people the way they did, and we are looking at only these MPs, but very many people were hurt.
This is part of the pressure that is being mounted on the government of Uganda, condemning the horrific torture that was actually exhibited by SFC. Of course, this eventually it may culminate into sanctions.
Torture is unacceptable everywhere. It doesn't matter if you're in Uganda or you're in Europe. Torture, there are conventions that govern issues relating to torture.
Speaking to the press on the 9th of September, the president sounded a word of caution to foreign powers, reminding them that the country belongs to Ugandans.
In all these arrangements, it is important that external players refrain from interfering in the internal affairs of other countries. Interfering in the internal affairs of other countries is morally and practically wrong.
The statement comes just a few hours before the head of state delivers another address to the country. What will be his take about this particular statement, considering that earlier he had warned foreigners and NGOs that Uganda does not belong to them? Sabit Joseph, NBS Live at 9.